This tape has been prepared for you by Schwartz Video Productions.
May the good Lord be with you down every road you roll. And may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. And may you grow to be proud, dignified and true. And do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be courageous and be brave, and in my heart you'll always stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May good fortune be with you, may your guiding light be strong. Build a stairway to heaven with a prince or a vagabond. And may you never love in vain, and in my heart you will remain forever young, forever young, forever young, And when you finally fly away, I'll be hoping that I served you well. For all the wisdom of a lifetime, no one can ever tell. But whatever road you choose, I'm right behind you, win or lose. Forever young, forever young.
It would be our pleasure to have you share a special day with us when our daughters Andrea Beth, Leah, and Michelle Dara, Aviva, are called to the Torah as a Benot Mitzvah, Saturday, December 11th, 1999, at 10:30 in the morning. North Shore Congregation Israel, Glencoe, Illinois. The celebration continues 7 p.m., Northmore Country Club, 820 Edgewood Drive, Highland Park, Illinois. Jackie and Robbie Lewis.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Benot Mitzvah.
Andi and Shelly, Mom and I are so proud of you today. Congratulations, and that's it.
And Andi and Shelly, we know that you're going to do a great job on the Bima. I'm so excited to be here. Our whole families converged together for this incredible mitzvah. And we're going to have the best day, the sun's shining, and it's a beautiful, wintry December day. Congratulations, Mazel Tov, and we love you so much.
That's a
One and all, as we begin our service this Shabbat morning, as we welcome you, we would like to note that this morning we use a relatively new edition of the Gates of Prayer. So we'd want to remind you that it moves in the direction of the Hebrew language from the right to the left. And where you see italicized print, that's meant to indicate that we join in the reading together. Cantor Cohn and I would like you to consider that an invitation to do just that, to join us in reading and song and in prayer as we worship together on this Shabbat morning. Let's begin now by singing with Cantor Cohn.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
The first time one is called to the Torah is, of course, the occasion of Bar Mitzvah or Bat Mitzvah, and that may well be the very first time a person will fulfill the mitzvah of wearing the talit, and so it is on this Shabbat morning. We'll ask our Benot Mitzvah and members of their family who so desire to join us here as we say the blessing for wearing the talit. And I think the first step is probably to remove the talit from the talit bags. Now uncover your talitot, girls, and take a good look at them. Okay? Great. So, Andi and Shelly, as you both look at the talit that you have in your hand, I want you to note what they have in common. And what they have in common, of course, are the fringes right here at the corners. You'll notice that those are absolutely identical on all of the talises that you'll see around us. And that is because these fringes are meant to remind both of you of the mitzvot, of the commandments for which you become responsible on this Shabbat morning as each of you respond to the call to the Torah. So, Shelly, Andi, hold your talit like this, and you may find that the blessing is printed right there. And let's say together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kitshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehit'atef B'tzitzit. Go ahead and put your policy right on. We praise you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with commandments and commands us to wear the talit. Now you fix your own hair.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat. Please turn to page 104. Please turn now to page 107. Page 107 will continue at the bottom of the page. Eternal One, our God and God of all ages, school us in your Torah and bind us to your mitzvot. Help us to keep far from sin, to master temptation, and to avoid falling under its spell. May our darker passions not rule us, nor evil companions lead us astray. Strengthen in us the voice of conscience. Prompt us to deeds of goodness, and bend our every impulse to your service, so that this day and always we may know your love and the goodwill of all who behold us. We praise you, O God. You bestow love and kindness on your people Israel. At all times, revere God inwardly as well as outwardly. Acknowledge the truth and speak it in your heart.
יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך ברך ישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה דמירה מעלמה נאמרו אמן.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha berachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit, ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, v'yal Oreor she'asita yifa'arucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. Page 110. Deep is your love for us, abiding your compassion. From of old we have put our trust in you, and you have taught us the laws of life. Be gracious now to us that we may understand and fulfill the teachings of your word. Enlighten our eyes in your Torah that we may cling to your mitzvot. Unite our hearts to love and revere your name. We trust in you and rejoice in your saving power, for you are the source of our help. You have called us and drawn us near to you in faithfulness. Joyfully we lift up our voices and proclaim your unity, O God. In love you have called us to your service.
Adonai Elohecha, v'chol לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בניניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. Eternal truth it is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May all the world rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares.
Let them beat their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation. Let them study war no more.
You shall not hate another in your heart. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Let the stranger in your midst be to you as the native, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
From the house of bondage forth to freedom.
So let all be free to sing with joy.
שיבחו גאולים לשמך שפתיים, יאכל כולם הודו והמליכו, ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופני חינומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor והאדוני עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, זוכר חסדי עמוד מלאכות, מביא כבודה לבניהם, הכל טוב והאדוני. Page 116. Adonai
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God.
ישמחו במלאכתך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלאכתך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם ישמעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלאכתך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלאכתך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
Our God, God of our fathers and our mothers, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and let your Torah be our way of life. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal God, let your holy Sabbath remain our heritage, that all Israel, hallowing your name, may find rest and peace. We praise you, O God, for the Sabbath and its holiness. Page 120. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael utfilatam be'ahava tekabel utehid ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch ata Adonai she'orcha levadcha bira na'avod. We gratefully acknowledge that you are our God and the God of our people, the God of all generations. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank you and sing your praises for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. You are goodness, your mercies never end. You are compassion, your love will never fail. You have always been our hope. Praise be the eternal God, to whom our thanks are due.
Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, sim shalom, sim shalom.
At this time, we are pleased to invite Dan and Robin Stern to come up to the bima to share with us prayers for peace.
O God, you have called us to peace, for you are peace itself. May we have the vision to see that each of us, in some measure, can help us to realize these aims. Where there is ignorance and superstition,
let there be enlightenment and knowledge.
where there are prejudice and hatred,
Let there be acceptance and love.
where there are fear and suspicion,
Let there be confidence and trust.
where there are tyranny and oppression,
Let there be freedom and justice.
where there are poverty and disease,
Let there be prosperity and health.
where there are strife and discord,
Let there be harmony and peace.
Now, with these prayers for peace on our minds and in our hearts, let's spend a few moments in personal reflection and private prayer.
My mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, and be acceptable to you. O God, my rock and my Redeemer, God, my rock and my Redeemer. Amen.
Please turn to page 142. There is none like you, Eternal One, among the gods that are worshipped, and there are no deeds like yours. Your sovereignty is everlasting. You reign through all generations.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Avu Godel Eloheinu utnu chavod la Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Beit Yaakov, lechuven elcha be'or Adonai, O house of Jacob, come, let us walk by the light of our God.
Amen.
Our Torah reading this Shabbat morning is known as Miketz. It continues the Joseph narrative. Joseph, as the Torah portion begins, is in prison, having been sent there by Potiphar and Potiphar's wife. Now the Pharaoh has some dreams that Pharaoh finds rather troubling, looks everywhere, tries everything, and finally hears about Joseph. Joseph, who has the ability to interpret dreams. Joseph, who will say to Pharaoh, "The ability doesn't come from me. In fact, this ability is a divine gift." Joseph then is elevated. He interprets Pharaoh's dreams. He describes the plan for saving saving Egypt, in fact the world, during the time of the terrible famine. And Joseph becomes second only to Pharaoh in Egypt. In Israel, the land of Israel, they hear about this great plan, and Jacob sends his sons to get some food. And lo and behold, Joseph encounters his brothers. They don't recognize him. He recognizes them. And we get into the very poignant story leading eventually to the reunion of Joseph and his brothers. The Torah portion is filled with wonderful narrative, and though it sounds presumptuous to say so, absolutely great writing. There is nothing better than what we find in this Torah portion, I think, in all the literature in the world. So we'll begin by taking a look at the very beginning of this Torah portion, Miketz. It is in Genesis chapter 41, starting with the very first verse. It's in the Chumash on page 264. Those are the large blue or red books you'll find at your seats. Page 264, and we call to the Torah to share our first Aliyah, Sam and Sheila Lewis.
Yahamod Rishon.
Baruch Hu es Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch
Adonai Hamvarach le'olam voed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bocher banu mikol ha'amim v'nasan lanu es toraso. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due now and forever. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You have called us to your service by giving us the Torah. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Amen. Vayehi miketz shnatayim yamim ufaro cholem. And it came to pass after 2 years that Pharaoh had a dream. V'hinei omed al ha'yeor, and he dreamed he was standing by the Nile. V'hinei min ha'yeor olot sheva parot yifot mareh uvriot basar v'tir'ena ba'achu. He dreamed that he was standing by the Nile, and out of the Nile emerged 7 good-looking and healthy cows that were grazing in the reeds. V'hinei sheva parot acherot olot achreihen min ha'yeor, and behold, 7 other cows emerged from the Nile after him. Ra'ot hamareh v'dakot basar. And these were not good to look at, and they were very thin. Tamodna etzel haparot al sfat hayeor. V'tolchan haparot ra'ot hamareh v'dakot habasar et sheva haparot yifot hamareh v'habriot. And then, as they were standing, the group of 7 cows, lean and hungry ones, by the banks next to the other, they came out of the water and they devoured the 7 ugly and thin ones, devoured the 7 healthy and good-looking cows. Vayikatz Paro, and Pharaoh awoke with a start.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam natav v'sochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You have given us a Torah of truth, implanting within us eternal life. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Amen. We call to the Torah to share our second Aliyah, Karen and Leonard Zeitlin.
Namo Sheni.
Right here.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamavarak.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarak. Le'am Va'let Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Baka Banu Mekol Hamim. V'nai Tanyalanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Praise the one to whom our praises is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due, now and forever. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You have called us to your service by giving us the truth. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Amen. Vayishan. And Pharaoh then fell back to sleep. V'achalom shenit, he had a second dream. V'nei sheva shibalim olot b'kaneh echad briot v'tovot. And behold, there were 7 ears of grain growing on a single stalk. They were healthy and good. V'nei sheva shibalim dakot u'shtuvot kadim tzomchot achreihen. Then 7 other ears that were thin and dried out by the heat of the east wind grew after them. And then the 7 healthy and parched ones swallowed up the 7 healthy and full ones. Vayikatz Paro, and Pharaoh awoke with a start. Hine chalom, and behold, it was a dream.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'kayei olam natav b'nokenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You have given us a Torah of truth, implanting within us eternal life. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Our Torah reading will now continue in the same chapter, chapter 41. We'll move to verse 39. It is on page 266 in the Chumash. And at this time, we are pleased to ask Andrea Beth Lewis to come up to the Bima, where she will serve as Ba'alat HaKriyah, where she will serve as our Torah reader. And we call to the Torah to share our third Aliyah, Robert and Jackie Lewis.
Namo Shlishi.
Baruch Hu Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due, now and forever. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, who have called us to your service by giving us the Torah. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah. Amen.
Vayomer Paro El Yosef Acharei Hodia Elohim Otcha Et Kol Zot Ein Navom V'Hacham Kamocha Ata tia al beiti vial picha yisha kol ami ra kakise egdal mimeka. Vayomer paro el Yosef ra'ein atati otcha al kol eretz Mitzrayim. Vayasar paro et tabato meyal yado v'yetain ota al yad Yosef. Yalbesh oto bigdei shes vayisim ravid hazahav al tzavara.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata v'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You have given us a Torah of truth and planting within us eternal life. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Reading will continue in verse 43. Tahamod le'abat Reuveinu Yehudit bat Mitsvah LaTorah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayarkev oto b'merkevet hamishnei asher lo vayikru lifnav avrech v'naton oto al kol eretz Mitzrayim. Vayomer paro el Yosef ani faro uviladecha lo yarim ish et yado ve'et raglo b'chol eretz Mitzrayim. Vayikra faro shem Yosef tzafnach panerch v'yitain lo et asnat bat Potifera kohen on lisha v'yitzeh Yosef al eretz Mitzrayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
At this time, we are pleased to ask Michelle Dara Lewis to come up to the bima, where she will now serve as Ba'alat HaKriyah. And we call to the Torah to share our fifth Aliyah, Jackie and Robert Lewis.
Yamor Chamishi. Reading continues in verse 46 on page 267.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamarah. Baruch Adonai Hamarah le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamarah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due now and forever. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You've called us to your service by giving us the Torah. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Yosef ben Shiloshim Shana be'omdo lifnei Pharaoh melech Mitzrayim. Ve'yitzei Yosef milifnei Pharaoh ve'ya'avor b'chol eretz Mitzrayim. V'ta'as ha'aretz b'sheva shenei ha'sava likmatzim. Ve'yikbotz et kol chel sheva shanim asher hayu be'eretz Mitzrayim. Ve'yiten ochel be'arim ochel seder ha'ir asher Tzivios hachanatan betocha. Vayitzbor Yosef bar kechol chayam harba me'od ad ki hadalis por ki ein mispar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata v'tokenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You have given us a Torah of truth, implanting within us eternal life. We praise you, O God, giver of the Torah.
Verse 50. Tahamod Haviva bat Ruvenu Yehudit bat Mitsvah la Torah.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Havorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yosef Yulad Shnei Vanim B'terem Tavo Shnat Hara'av Asher Yadalo Asnat Bat Potifera Kohen On. Vayikra Yosef et Shem Habachor Menashe Ki Nashani Elohim et Kol Amali Ve'et Kol Beit Avi Ve'et Shem Hasheni Kara Ephraim Ki Hifarni Elohim Be'eretz On Yi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And this is the Torah which Moses taught our people under the command and inspiration of God.
Esot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael Achi Adonai beyad Moshe. This morning's reading from the prophets is found on page 1646 in the large commentaries. Page 1646, reading for the second Shabbat in the festival of Hanukkah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'divrei hana'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet b'tzedek. Vayaschirom et hakiorot ve'et hayayim ve'et hamizrakot vayachal Hiram lasot et kol hamelacha asher asa LaMelech Shlomo, Beit Adonai, Amudim Shnayim, Vigulot, HaKotarot, Asher al Rosh HaAmudim, Shnayim, V'Hasivachot, Shnayim, Lasot, Et Shtei Gulot, HaKotarot, Asher al Rosh HaAmudim, V'Tarimonim, Arba Meot, Lishtei Asivachot, Shnei Turim, Rimonim, Asivacha, Ha'echad, Lasot, Et Shtei Gulot, HaKotarot, Asher al Pnei HaMudim, V'Tarimonim, V'Tamechonot, Aser, V'Takiorot, Asara, Al HaMechonot, V'Tayam, Ha'echad, V'Tabakar, Shnei Masar, Tzrachatayam, V'Tasirot, V'Etayim, V'Tamizrakot, V'et Kol HaKelim, Ha'ela, Asher, Asa Chiram, LaMelech Shlomo, Beit Adonai, Nechoshet Memorat. In my Torah portion, Joseph goes from being poor to being rich. When he was poor, he lived in a dungeon. Then he was brought up to interpret Pharaoh's dream. Pharaoh understands from Joseph's interpretation that his kingdom is going to have 7 years of plenty and then right after 7 years of famine. Pharaoh assigns Joseph to help his kingdom to be ready for the 7 years of famine during the period of the 7 years of plenty. Pharaoh also gave Joseph the responsibility of allowing him to give orders to the people of Egypt. Pharaoh's plan is to grow crops and then keep it in the city for the people in the 7 years of famine. Soon enough, the 7 years of plenty went by, and the 7 years of famine came. People came to Joseph for food and help. One of the groups of people was the brothers of Joseph. The brothers had sold Joseph to the Egyptians, and that's the start of how Joseph got to where he is now. Then Joseph decided to test his brothers. His test was confusing for the brothers because all along they didn't know that it was Joseph who was doing this to them. My favorite part of this Torah portion was when Joseph tested his brothers. Joseph made his brothers go back to Canaan and get their youngest brother, Benjamin, while one of them stayed with Joseph in Joseph's dungeon. So he knew that the brothers would come back, either food with Benjamin or for their brother, and return home with no food or help from Joseph. I chose this part of my Torah portion because it is very much related to my life. I have an older sister who very rarely fights with me. I get along with my sister very well, which is unlike Joseph and his brothers. Joseph's brother forced him away from his family. But then right after a while, he reunited with his brothers and forgave them. I realized through Joseph how important good relationships can be between siblings. I will always respect and cherish my friendship with my sister, and I'll always be there for her, just like Joseph was in the end for his brothers. Joseph ended up forgiving his brothers, and this shows how strong family ties can be. My Haftarah portion is about Hiram helping King Solomon build the new temple. And when they were done, the temple looked beautiful. The whole temple was shining gold from King Solomon and Hiram working together. I am reading this Haftarah for my Bar Mitzvah during Hanukkah for many reasons. But I believe the main reason is because Hanukkah's miracle and King Solomon and Hiram's working together in my Haftarah portion have a relation. Just as King Solomon hoped to build and dedicate a temple, so did the Maccabees, and that is what we celebrate at Hanukkah. so the relation is working together. That is the main reason why I am reading this Haftarah portion for my Bar Mitzvah during Hanukkah. All the studying and work it took to become a Bar Mitzvah was hard, but it paid off because it has made a difference in my life. Now I feel more Jewish and related to the synagogue. To read from the Torah in a Haftarah is a huge honor, responsibility, and commandment. I am now considered an adult in the Jewish community. I feel obligated to continue doing mitzvahs and participate in synagogue activities. One of the things I plan to do is become a mahonik. A mahonik is a helper in the younger kids' Sunday school classrooms. I also plan on becoming confirmed. I think this has changed me. If you've seen the Hershey Bar commercial that says change is bad, well, maybe it is for Hershey Bar, but not for me. For me, change has been sweet. When I look out at all of you, I feel how lucky I am to have such great family and friends to celebrate with me. Traditions are important to me, and becoming a daughter of the commandment will help me carry on many traditions of our religion. The commandment I learned from my Torah is to be forgiving, just as Joseph forgave his brothers after all they did him wrong. Just as Joseph and his brothers finally learned that their family was more important than anything else. It also helps me understand the importance of family. As a Bat Mitzvah, I will strive to carry on the values and tradition of my family.
Reading will continue in verse 46.
Bechikar hayarden yitzakam hamelech b'machavei ha'adamah bein Sukkot uvein Sartan vayanach Shlomo et kol hakelim me'rov me'od me'od lo nachkar mishkal hanechoshet Vayah Shlomo et kol hakelim asher beit Adonai Mizbach hazahav ve'et hashulchan asher alav lechem hapanim zahav ve'et haminorot Hamesh miyamin v'chamesh misemol Lifnei hadavir zahav zagur v'chaperach v'chanerot v'chamel kachayim zahav My Torah portion is about Joseph and his journey starting at the time when the Pharaoh of Egypt had dreams. Pharaoh asked Joseph to interpret his dreams. If it weren't for Joseph interpreting these dreams, all of Egypt and the land around it would have suffered horribly from the 7 years of famine. The second half of my Torah portion is about Joseph reuniting with his brothers while he is Potipharah. I love my Torah portion because it happens to be the story of Joseph in Egypt. I had known about this story because a few years ago I saw the musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The story starts off when Joseph had been bragging to his other brothers that he was their father Jacob's favorite son. Jacob had loved Joseph so much because his mother Rachel was his favorite wife. The brothers were upset and jealous when Joseph received a multicolored cloak from Jacob. The brothers were so jealous of Joseph that they sold him as a slave to the Pharaoh and told Jacob he was killed by an animal. Many years later, Joseph was accused by Pharaoh's wife, doing for something bad to her. And for this, Joseph was put in jail. While in prison, Joseph would interpret dreams for people, such as the cupbearer. Then, one night, the Pharaoh had 2 dreams, but no one was able to interpret them. So the cupbearer told Pharaoh that Joseph was very good at interpreting dreams. Pharaoh told him to bring Joseph to him. This is my favorite part. Pharaoh tells Joseph his dreams. His first dream was about these 7 beautiful cows he saw grazing down by the Nile. Then 7 other cows that were very ugly came upon the scene and ate the fine cows. He woke up, then fell back asleep and dreamed the same dream, except with corn. Joseph told Pharaoh that 7 years of growth would be followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph suggested a plan so that the land that Pharaoh ruled wouldn't suffer during the famine. The plan was that everyone should gather as much crops and store as much food as they could for 7 years. Pharaoh then took Joseph and made him Potiphera, or Pharaoh's helper. He said, "No one will lift a hand without Joseph," which means no one is to do anything of any importance without Pharaoh's help or approval. Joseph ended up saving the land of Egypt. He also reunited when they came to Egypt for food. The part that I thought was fascinating was when Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. Before I read Joseph's interpretation, I thought that the cows represented the people that would become poor and the corn represented the people's food going bad or disappearing. I would not have ever guessed 7 years of famine. Also, that since Joseph had spent so much time in prison before he went to Pharaoh, he must have done a lot of thinking about who he was. He realized it was wrong to feel he was better than his brothers or to brag to them about being their father's favorite. Pharaoh had told Joseph how great he was, how to know how to interpret dreams and tell the future. Joseph thought about this and told Pharaoh that it was not him that was so great. It was God that gave him the gift of interpreting dreams. I could tell that Joseph became humble. He had learned humility. He had learned he shouldn't brag about this gift. His gift was not a gift after all. It was designed from God, and it taught him to be humble. In the end, Joseph is able to realize humility. That's what made this part of my Torah portion stand out. Because my bat mitzvah is during Hanukkah, my Haftarah does not have much to do with my Torah portion. My Haftarah is assigned to the Sabbath during Hanukkah because it describes how King Solomon was preparing the temple for God, or house of the Lord. It tells how everything is made so perfectly and carefully because he feels God deserves the best. He makes lavers, scrapers, sprinkling bowls, a golden altar, and a table upon which the showbread was of gold. That's the challah. King Solomon tries very hard to construct the temple to the best of his ability. This connects to Hanukkah because after the Maccabees won their temple back, they had to polish it and prepare it for prayer. This part describes King Solomon's jobs in the temple's rededication. By the way, the word Hanukkah means rededication. The Maccabees had to set up the temple in order to rededicate it. When Rabbi Meir first asked me what I thought it meant to be a bat mitzvah, I first thought about the gifts. But that's not really what a bat mitzvah means to me. To me, a bat mitzvah means work and achievement. I spent the last 5 months working and studying on my bat mitzvah. I had to be responsible and set aside time every day to practice, even at camp, so I didn't fall behind. More recently, I had to go to meetings with my tutors and Rabbi Mason. While I was preparing to become a bat mitzvah, I was maturing, becoming independent, and learning self-discipline, my father's favorite. I couldn't depend on my parents to teach me my Torah and Haftarah portions. I had to achieve this by myself. I had to budget my time with how much I would study for regular school and for Hebrew school. As I become a bat mitzvah, my family, close friends, and some congregation members gather here today to watch me as I read from the Torah and Haftarah, and then we celebrate. It is very important to me to become a bat mitzvah because I have learned what it means to be a Jew, about mitzvot, prayer, and tradition, and how I can carry it on. As a bat mitzvah, I have learned from Joseph and his story that I shouldn't brag. I should be humble. For instance, I shouldn't brag that I'm a bat mitzvah. Instead, I should fulfill my mitzvah and carry out the lessons of this experience and show that I'm a bat mitzvah. Also, I should tell other people about being a bat mitzvah and what I've gained and learned. I plan to continue my studies in Hebrew school, and I am going to get confirmed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Mesur kol ha'olamim, tzaddik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzadak, al ha'torah v'al ha'avodah, v'al ha'nevi'im, v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha, lech havod u'latif aretz, al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach, u'mavarachim otach, yitbarach shimcha, b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat.
You now reopen your prayer books to page 146. And would you please rise? Yahalelu et Shem Adonai ki nisgav shemo levado. Let us praise the eternal God, whose name alone is exalted. God's teaching is perfect, reviving the soul.
God's word is unfailing, making wise the simple.
God's precepts are right, delighting the mind.
God's Mitsvah is clear, giving light to the eye.
God's doctrine is pure, enduring forever.
God's guidance is true and altogether just.
Behold, the good doctrine has been given you, my Torah. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, cling to it, find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Well, Andy and Shelly, happy Hanukkah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Mazel Tov to you both. As you stand together here on this Shabbat morning, I know that this is a moment that is very special for each of you individually. But I want to remind you of something. It's not just important to the two of you, and it's not just important to your families, to your family. Yes, you're related, aren't you?
Yeah.
Not just important to your family or to our congregation. I want to take 1 minute and tell you that this matters. What you have done, both of you, matters to the whole Jewish world. Yes, Jews in Chicago care about what happened here today. Jews in California care about what happened here today. Jews in Australia care about what happened here today. Jews in Israel care about what happened here today. You get the point, right? Now, why is that? Well, it has to do with the future. There's a big question, you see. What will happen in the next generation? Or more specifically, the question is, will Andi take her place and fulfill her responsibilities? Will Shelly take her place and fulfill her responsibilities? And will these two young women who have become Banot Mitzvah now carry on and show us that our people has a good and bright future? That's why everyone cares about this so much. So far, it would seem to me that the answer is yes, don't you think? Good. Now, here's a lesson for you. We learned, Andi, from you about Joseph's lessons about humility. We learned, Shelly, about Joseph's lessons about the importance of family. I want to suggest to you that Joseph has one more lesson for each of you. It's a lesson that the Maccabees teach as well. It's really very simple. I started by saying to you, the whole Jewish people cares about what's going on here today, right? That's a lot of people, isn't it? It's a huge number of people. It's millions of people. It's impossible to understand because it's so big. Here's the point. Despite that, one single person can make the whole difference. For instance, Joseph, one single individual. Joseph was the one who in the story somehow knew that he could interpret dreams with God's help, right, Andy? And Joseph was the one who developed the plan with God's help, right, girls? And therefore was able to save not only Egypt, but the whole world. That one person made all of the difference. Think about the Maccabees for a second, since this is the last day of Hanukkah, the time when our people were being oppressed and attacked by a very powerful people. The Maccabees, all the brothers, the family, they had a choice. Should we roll over and play dead, ignore all of this? Or as individuals, should we make a stand and say, we'll fight for our freedom? We will help to win back our temple and rededicate it. An individual, we know his name, Judah Maccabee, one of the brothers, became the leader. That one person made the difference. So here we stand together. Yes, you stand here as sisters, and that meant something very special for you both. I know that, and we all saw it as you completed your work this morning, as you were so supportive of each other. But not only do you stand here as sisters, ready to support each other, but you stand here as individuals, as single persons who can make a difference. Now, what do I mean by that? We talked, Shelly, about becoming a mechomek. That means teaching somebody else. You know how important it is to teach somebody else? What a difference you can make as one individual? What a special gift you can give, no matter what it is that you teach. You can make that special difference. Andy, you said something very simple. You said you're going to continue to study Judaism. You'll take your knowledge and be confirmed and learn the lessons of humility. You know what that means? As one single individual, you'll set an example for others. You'll teach them by your deeds that being humble and carrying on the tradition really can matter. Already we see that you as individuals can make a big difference. There are other places too. What if you hear, each of you, that there is a person in the community who might be hungry or in need, and you find out that there is a way that you as an individual can do something about it? Guess what, Shelly? You can make a difference. Andy, you can make a difference. We can make it even more specific. It's about to be winter, isn't it? It's about to be a very cold time of the year, isn't it? There are people who won't be as warm as we are able to be because we have enough to find the clothing that we need, right? But you as individuals have done something to make sure that others will feel warmer and be healthier this winter. you as individuals can make a difference. And that can be true no matter where you go and no matter where you are, as you stand up for what is right, as you show by your deeds that you care, as you now carry on the traditions and the values that are so important to your family, to our community. So, learn this as well from Joseph and from the Maccabees. One person counts. And I'll conclude this by just suggesting one other thing. We who've had the opportunity to work with you in preparing for this moment, and we who have shared this bima with you in this moment, know that one person made a difference for you, Shelly, this morning, and one person made a difference for you, Andy, this morning. And of course, those are the people who are standing next to you right now, each other. As you provided each other encouragement and support in achieving this goal, see, you show us in the way that you do our sisters that one person can make a difference for the other, even as Joseph taught it, even as the Maccabees taught it. So this makes this moment one that is filled with hope and with joy. You should be happy for yourselves, proud of each other, as you show such promise in this moment. Now, I invite you to take a look at the congregation. It's safe to do that now, you know. And you'll notice that there are many people sharing great smiles with you right now because they share your happiness and your joy at your achievement today. And of course, the biggest smiles belong to your parents. And I think that's why we should them to come and stand with you now as they join you both in giving thanks for what you have achieved, for the promise that you've shown this Shabbat morning.
With gladness and thanksgiving, we praise you, O Lord, our God, for having kept us alive and sustained us and enabled us to reach this day. Watch over our daughters, O God, on this special day and every day. Grant them a growing understanding, offer the truth, significance of this occasion, and a deepening loyalty to everything which it represents. May the teachings of our heritage guide them throughout life, and may they lead a life worthy of your blessing. Amen.
Amen.
Now we'll ask our Benot Mitsvah and their parents to come and stand right here in front of the ark. Stand right there. As we all now join our voices in these traditional words of thanks, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We praise you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life and sustained us and enabled us to reach this day filled with joy and achievement and promise. Now, Andy and Shelly, turn and face your mom and dad. You may wish to put a hand on each of your shoulders as we ask God to bless you as these words of Torah ask blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May God's presence shine on you. May God deal kindly with you. May God's presence always surround you, and may God bless you with the most precious of blessings, the blessing of peace. We say, Amen. Would you now reopen your prayer books to page 148 and rise for Alleluia. spread out the heavens and established the earth. You are our God, there is none else. In truth, you alone are our sovereign God, as it is written. Know then this day and take it to heart. The Eternal One is God in the heavens above, and on the earth below there is none else. Eternal God, we face the morrow with hope made stronger by the vision of your deliverance, a world where poverty and war are banished, where injustice and hate are gone. Teach us more and more to respond to the pain of others, to heed your call for justice, that we may bring nearer the day when all the world shall be one. On that day the age-old dream shall come true. On that day, O God, you shall be one, and your name shall be one.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
At this time in our service, we take a moment to remember those who have died in recent days, those for whom their families mourn during the Shloshim, the 30 days of intensive mourning. On this Shabbat, we remember Sophie Bayer, Violet Brandwine, Keith Chulak, Leroy E. Cowan, Ajon Farber, Lillian Goodman, Richard Herbst, Amelia Lawrence Kasner, Patricia Rotman Koshin, Alan N. Lasky, Natalie Spielman, Lenora R. Wise. We call to mind as well those who died at this season in years past, the anniversaries of whose deaths occur at this time. On this Shabbat, we remember Alan Adler, Sam Baskin, Virginia Biederman, Meyer Benjamin, Julia Bernheim, Leo Bernheim, Virginia Tarlow Bocius, Norman Cooper, Benjamin Crane, Robert L. Dessauer, Leona Feinberg, Morris Fellner, Rose Foreman, Zolly S. Frank, Mildred Guilford, Leon Gold, Marcia Gordon, Nathan Gore, Edward Greenberg, Molly Jacobson, Charles Kaplan, Martin Kaplan, Florence Lauer, Goldie Levy, Samuel Arthur Libman, Carl Lustbader, Clara Francis Mayer, Fien Olean, Arthur Raphael, Serene Ruderman, Esther M. Plunsker, Elmer M. Saunders, Samuel Schenker, David J. Schubert, Riva Schubert, Evelyn Stone, Harold Toback, George L. Weisbard, Edward Wolper. The memories of all of them and all of our loved ones are with us. Our griefs and our sympathies are now mingled as we turn to page 154 and rise as one family of families to sanctify God's name as we say Kaddish together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'alma divrach cherutei v'malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon eidechol Beit Yisrael v'adala u'v'zman kariru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'almei almaya Yitbarach, Yishtabach, V'yitba'ah, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha, B'richu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, D'ushbechata v'nechemata, Da'amiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shamaya v'chaim, Alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say together, Amen. We're now pleased to call on Ralph Bergen, who has a special presentation to make to our Benot Mitzvah.
Give me a moment here or two. Andy and Michelle, on behalf of the officers, Board of Trustees, I want to congratulate you both on the occasion of your B'nai Mitzvot this morning. I'm sure that everybody in the sanctuary is very proud of you. You both spoke and chanted beautifully. I would like to present to you your Bat Mitzvah certificate, which has been signed by the rabbis and the cantor. It documents a very important day in your life. This one goes to... On behalf of the Jewish United Fund, I would like to present you a gift which will go towards a trip to Israel. We hope you'll be taking that trip very soon. And finally, from the Brotherhood and Sisterhood, this Humash. It's a remarkable, very positive text on the Torah. Since you're going on to confirmation, it's nice to know that you'll be using it, and we hope you'll be using it in your ongoing Jewish education. Mazel. On behalf of the officers and Board of Trustees, North Shore Congregation Israel, I'd like to welcome you this morning. You all have the blue bulletin, Shabbat bulletin specifically. I just want to call your attention to two events which are coming up tomorrow morning. At 9:15, Rabbi Mason will be speaking on the topic from Pittsburgh 1985 to Pittsburgh 1999, which is the coverage of the 10 Principles of Reform Judaism. At 11 o'clock, Rabbi Lisa Green will be talking on the subject, Y2K, Jewish Women, Why Do I Exist? It should be a very interesting and certainly timely subject. At the end of our service, we would ask you please to stay in your seats until Rabbi Mason, Cantor Cohn, Andrea, Michelle, and their families exit the sanctuary. Once they have exited, please join us in Frank Memorial Hall quickly for our Kiddush. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Before we conclude our service, we do want to take a moment to say Mazal Tov and congratulations once again to our Benot Mitzvah. We congratulate Andy Lewis on becoming Bat Mitzvah, her parents, Robbie and Jackie, Mazel Tov, and her grandparents. And of course, we'd like to congratulate her sister Shelly on Andy's achievement this morning. And likewise, we'd like to congratulate Shelly Lewis on becoming a Bat Mitzvah. And we congratulate her parents, Robbie and Jackie, and her grandparents. And we congratulate her sister Andy on her achievement this Shabbat morning as well. Okay. And everyone who has joined Andy and Shelly to share this wonderful, wonderful double simcha in their lives. We know that the promise they've shown will assure us that we'll be reunited as they continue to achieve. After our concluding song this Shabbat morning, we'd like to have Andy and Shelly and members of their family as well join Cantor Cohn right at the table right there where we will join together in chanting Kiddush before we exit the sanctuary. Then as we exit, you'll be able to meet one another for Oneg Shabbat. Now, Cantor Cohn.
It's still Hanukkah, so we're turning to page 179 in the prayer book. You'll see at the bottom of the page the first stanza of Ma'oz Tzur. We're going to sing that stanza in Hebrew, and then we're going to turn the page to page 180 and sing the last stanza of Ma'oz Tzur, Children of the Maccabees. So please stand and join in the singing. Ma'oz Tzur Yeshuati, Lechana El Shabeach, Tikon Beit Tefilati, V'sham Todan Zabeach, Letashbit Matbeach, V'tar Menabeach, Azegmol B'shir Mizmor, Chanukat HaMizbeach, Azegmol B'shir Mizmor, Chanukat HaMizbeach. Children of the Maccabees, whether free or fettered, wake the echoes of the songs where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering that the day is nearing, which will see all go free, tyrants disappearing, which will see all go free, tyrants disappearing.
Please remain standing as we ask Andi and Shelly and their family to join us right over here as we say